everyone, welcome to another live today. Just wanted to say a quick hi to you all. Let's say how many of you can say hi. Let's get started. Say hi, guys. Your hi would be here like this. Let's see how many of you can say hi quick. Looks like there are very less of you here today. If you can say hi, it'll be great. I can't see anyone saying hi to me. Should I off the hi because nobody wants to say hi today? So let's. Oh, I got one hi for a change. Hi. Anyone else want to say hi? You all are welcome to say hi. I think there's lots of you joining us. Say hi. If you're on Facebook also, you can still say hi. Your hi would come on the screen. Let me just do Facebook hi. So here is the hi from anyone from Facebook wants to say hi. Remember, guys, you will be getting a promo code today. As many of you are live here, I have a promo code for you all so that you can go on 11 plus help to success website and you can use the promo code to buy any of the books, and the promo code will give you 5%, sorry, not 5%, 5 pounds off. So the promo code for you all who are here in the live is this. Try using this promo code which is here. Try using this promo code on 11 plus help to success website for any of the books. If you want to buy any of the books from this website, you can buy it and you can use the promo code. You'll get 5 pounds off. If the book is 12 pounds, if you put 5 pounds off, see, you will be getting so much discount. So this is the promo code for everyone who's live. I will try putting the promo code again after when there are more channel who are live. So you can use the promo code 11 plus live to get 5% off. So you will be getting, sorry, not 5%, 5 pounds off. Let me see if I can put a sign for. So all of you will be getting 5 pounds off on 11 plus help to success website when you use this promo code. So you can buy any of the books on that website and you will be getting a 5 pounds off. So that's something, a good promo code for you all to have a look. And there's another promo codes which we have here is ALT. You can click on this one and you can book ALT mock test, which are everywhere. Everyone is buying ALT mock test. If you click on this code here, you can just buy ALT mock test, and this is for ALT summer course. You can click on this and you can buy ALT summer course. So all the promo codes are here for you guys. I'll remove this one now and I'm back to the chats for all of you now. So we have the chats now. And remember, and I also want to thank you all, because of you guys, ALT has won the best tuition center in Greater London. So that's something really good. We are the best tuition center in Greater London. We have won the award. There were so many tuition centers who participated in this competition and they didn't win. They just became the runner up and things like that. Only ALT was the one which won the prize. So that's something so good for us. And today we are going to do comprehension book. And the book, again, you all can buy the book from 11 plus help to success website, or you could buy the book from Amazon. So you have two options of buying of the book, and you could also take the PDF copy now. You can go and download the PDF copy and use the promo code what I have given you guys. This promo code you can use. With this promo code you will get 5. I'll put this promo code here, so anyone wants to buy this book, they can go on 11 plus help to success website and try using this promo code and buy the book. You will get 5 pounds off. You can just go now for the PDF copy. And with this PDF copy, you all can see what we are doing. So I'm going to share the screen. I'm going to do one of the papers from this book. That's paper number 4. It's about Hi, I'm new. Welcome to the channel, our YouTube channel, guys. And I'm going to share the screen with you all. If you don't have the PDF of this, you can read. Let me just share the screen. Oh, what happened? The screen just went off. Okay, let me try doing it again. I'll just put the promo code away. You all would be reading this. I'll give some time for you all. I'll hide myself. I'll give you guys. It doesn't let. Oh, it gives me. Yeah. You all can read the. I'll just zoom in a little bit for you all to read the comprehension. Comprehension taken from the book from assessment papers plus help to success. English assessment papers and a story about a boy. It's about a boy called Author. He has been often he lost his parents in the World War II. So he lost his parents in the World War II, and if you have the book, you would have read the comprehension. If you don't have the book, I would highly recommend you guys to go on 11 plus help to success website page and just click on the PDF file. You can download, you can just get the book as soon as possible, or you could also read it here. I'll give you guys some time to read it. So this is the story which I want you guys to read. So let's get started for you all to read the story. I'll give you guys little time to read the story so that we can start doing the questions from the book. So here you get started. And if you have read till this page, tell me so I can put it a little more forward. And I can make this person read for you. Wait.
There were dozens of us on the ship, all ages, boys and girls, and we were all up on deck for the leaving of Liverpool, gulls wheeling and crying over our heads, calling goodbye. I thought they were waving goodbye. None of us spoke. It was a grey day with drizzle in the air, the great sad cranes bowing to the ship from the 5 docks as we steamed past. That's all I remember of England. The deck shuddered under our feet, the engines thundered and throbbed as the great ship turned slowly and made for the open sea ahead, the mist rolling in from the horizon. The nuns had told us we were off to Australia, but it might as well have been to the moon. I had no idea where Australia was. All I knew at the time was that the ship was taking me away, somewhere far away over the... The ship's siren sounded again, deafening me even though I had my hands over my ears. When it was over, I clutched the key around my neck, the key Kitty had given me, and I promised myself and promised her I'd come back home one day. I felt in me at that moment a sadness so deep that it has never left me since, but I 15 felt too that just so long as I had Kitty's key, it would be lucky for me, and I would be all right. I suppose we must have gone by way of the Suez Canal *. I know that most of the great liners bound for Australia did in those days, but I can't say I remember it. There's a lot I do remember though. The 3-pillar box red funnels, the sound of the orchestra playing from first class where we weren't allowed to go. Once they even played London Bridge is falling down, and I loved that because it always made me happy when I heard it. I remember mountainous waves, higher than the deck of the ship, green or gray, or deepest blue some days, schools of silver dancing dolphins, and always, even in the stormiest weather, seabirds skimming 25 the waves, or floating high above the funnels. And there was the wide, wide sea all around us, going on it seemed to me forever and ever, as wide as the sky itself. It was the wideness of it all I remember, and the stars at night, the millions of stars. But best of all, I saw my first albatross. He flew out of a shining wave one day, came right over my head and looked down deep into my eyes. I've never 30 forgotten that. The ship was, in a way, my first home, because it was the first home I can remember. We slept two to a bunk, a dozen or more of us packed into each cabin, deep down in the bowels of the ship, close to the pounding rhythm of the engines. It was cramped and hot down there and reeked of diesel and damp 35 clothes. And there was often the stench of vomit too, a lot like mine. I was in with a lot of other lads, all of whom were older than me, some a lot older. I was in trouble almost from the start. They called me a softie because I'd rock myself to sleep at night, humming London Bridge is falling down, and because I cried sometimes. They gave me a hard time, a lot of grief. They'd thump me with 40 pillows, hide my clothes, hide my shoes, but sending me to Coventry was the worst, just refusing to speak to me, not even acknowledging my existence. I really hated them for that. They reserved this particular punishment for when I was at my most miserable, when I'd been sick in the cabin. During that whole long voyage into an uncertain future, Marty chewed my spirits. 45, he became like a big brother to me, which was why I confided in him about Kitty, about how she'd been left behind and how much I missed her. You need people like Marty just to keep you going. Even if things don't seem to be working out quite as you'd like them to, you need to feel they're going to, that all will be well in the end. If you don't believe that, and sometimes in my life I haven't, then there's 50 a deep black hole waiting for you, a black hole I came to know only too well later on.
Okay, this is a comprehension. I read it for you guys. I made this person read for you. So I hope you understood the comprehension. It's basically about a boy. He lost his parents and he's traveling by boat. And we can come to know that he was not traveling in the first class. If you guys have gone on a boat, a ship or something, you would understand that the how the ship works. The ship normally has first class, second class, and it has lot of classes there. If you are poor or something, you go in an ordinary class. You don't go in the first class. So this is something about this, and let's go with the questions now and with the answers. And if you guys have this book has really good explanations of answers. It gives you a lot of answers, but I would recommend you guys to try doing the answers yourself and then look at the answers from the book, how it gives, because they give really good explanation of all the answers. So let's get started. So the first one, they are saying you have to, what two things does author remember about leaving Liverpool in paragraph 1? So you always have to deal with paragraph 1 and think about the two things author thinks about leaving in leaving Liverpool in paragraph 1. So you should read paragraph 1 and see. So basically, there are two things he saw. You have to think about that. What do you think the answer could be? And if you remember, in the first paragraph, they tell about author. They tell about. Let's go on first paragraph. If you guys don't have the book, so let's go on the about. So you look at this one. First paragraph is basically this one. There were dozens on the ship, all aged boys and girls, and were all up on it, crying overhead, goodbye. So this could be one of the this could be one of the things. So this is one of the things you could do. So basically, what are the two things you think author noticed while leaving Liverpool? First thing you have to think what were the two things he think about that and then do it. The first thing you could say that, let's go back. The first thing you would say that the girls willing and crying over their heads, bidding goodbye as author and the other channels are on the deck, flying over them, creating a farewell scene. The girls' cries symbolize the departure from their homeland. So basically, the first one, you could say that he noticed that everyone was saying goodbye to each other. So goodbye. And the second thing he noticed, there were large cranes or docks which seems to go down towards the ship as its stream past. The visual image adds to the sadness as they leave Liverpool behind. It was really sad. So you could say the two things. You could say that the atmosphere was really sad because was leaving, and the second thing you could say was that everybody saying goodbye and goodbye, and you could write about that. The other thing you guys think that is there, you can also give me your answers. I can put it on. Is your connection lost? Okay. Okay. So let's. Is the connection better now? Can you all hear me? I don't know why I'm going on getting mute. So I was saying that you could write about the ship was crowded and everyone was saying goodbye. That was the first thing. And the second thing, there were a lot of notice the large crans on the docks. So there were a lot of other vessels and other things also which were going in the ship together. So there were a lot of other things also were going. Can't you guys hear me? Just give a thumbs up if you guys can hear me now. I think so the connection is better now. No, it's better now. Okay, that's good. I thought you guys are saying the connection is not better. So these are the two things you could say that which were there was great sad cranes bowing to the ship from the docks. Author noticed the large cranes on the docks which seems to bow down towards the ship as it streamed past. This visual image adds a sadness affable as they leave Liverpool behind. So that's for the first one. You could also add your own answers. Let me write number 2. What's written here? From the ducks. He notices the large cranes on the ducks. It seemed to bow down as it steamed past. So we are done with the first one. Oh, I don't know what I did. I just moved it. Sorry about that. So let's move on to the next one now. It's so much of zoom in. So let's move on to the next one now. And the next one is you have to list four details. Narrator tells you about the ship in from line 6 to 30. So you have to tell me four details what the author tells about the ship. So you could read from that. What are the four things the narrator tells about the ship? So you have to read paragraphs, lines 6 to 30. So you have to think about that lines and think what are the four things the author tells you about the ship. So basically, the duck shuttled under their feet and the engine thundered and roared. The ship's deck evaporates. The deck of the ship is normally vibrates a lot, and the powerful engine creates a loud sound. So basically, the ship was making a lot of sound. So you could say that the first thing he could say was that the ship was making a lot of sound. And the second thing you could say that the ship had three pillar boxed red funnels. The ship's distinct characteristics were its three vibrate red funnels which stood out. The third thing you could say that there was music being played in the first class. Although the children were not allowed to access the first class area, the narrator mentioned the presence of the playing on board. So you could also say about the music, what they were playing, because they were saying the music. Yeah, that's the one. The angel turned and robbed, and also the music, because he did say about the music. He did say about the music throughout that London Bridge is falling down. So they were also playing music. So I'm just writing the shortcuts. So the number one, you could talk about the engine of the ship. Second, you could also talk about the ship's distinct characteristics were its three vibrant red funnels which stood out. The pillars, basically the pillars, the three pillars, what the author always refers to. The three pillars, box red. Third thing you could say about the orchestra playing in the first class, he could always hear that, but he was not allowed to go there. Orchestra playing in the first class. So you could playing in the first class. And the fourth thing you could say that the way the ship did, they said that the ship sailed through mountainous waves. The narrator describes the waves encountered during the voyage as basically the waves of the. He also mentions the waves, the way the ship was going through the waves. So you could also say that the ship was sailed through the mountainous waves. And you could also describe that. Yeah, that's a good one. You could also write this. I've just given the points. You could also write the points yourself. You could also describe all the points yourself. What do you think it is? So, this is the things you could write your own. You can make sentences of your own, but remember that it's 4 marks, so you have to stick to 4 marks. Stick to 4 marks. Don't try writing a lot in 4 marks. So now you are on line question 3. Let's see what they're asking in number 3. Oh, I just went back. Sorry about that. Let's see what the question 3 is asking you about. So question 3 is telling you list 3 features of the natural world that author notices on his journey in lines 17 to 30 and then explain why he feels each one memorable. You should try to use your own words. So again, you are using your own words to say that. So what are the 3 things, 3 features of the natural world? So you have to think about the 3 features, what he noticed towards the, what he basically noticed towards when he was going in the ship, because remember that he was going for the first time. So obviously when you're going for the first time somewhere, you are really very excited, and when you're excited you think that with excitement you feel like you see more things than normal person. So what are the 3 things? First thing you could say what you did about, we did previously we did the mountainous waves. He other witnessed waves higher than the ship's deck, appearing the shade of green, grey, or deepest blue. You could refer to the, I'll just point out the things you could refer to and you could make your own points for that. The first thing he noticed, what we mentioned in the previous one also, we could say the same thing, was the mountainous waves. You could mention about the waves. Second thing Schools of silver dancing dolphins. He saw the dolphins dancing. I'll explain each point to you. Second thing, you could say that the schools of silver dancing dolphins. And the third point, you could say that millions of stars. So he saw millions of stars and an so you could explain these points. In the first one, as we told in the previous paragraph, you could write the same thing again in this one, that the mountainous waves, author witnessed waves higher than the ship's deck appearing in shades of green, grey, or deepest blue, depending on the weather. He finds them memorable because of their imposing size and power. These waves serve as a reminder of the ocean. It reminded him of the ocean because the waves were of different colors. He could see that. And the second thing you could talk about is the schools of the silver dancing dolphin. So you could mention that author spots dolphins swimming alongside the ship. That's so interesting. So he could see that the dolphins were swimming alongside the ship. They were swimming alongside with the ship. Their graceful moments and appearance captivate him. Seeing them, these playful creatures brings moment of joy and wonder in the ocean, because remember that he doesn't have any parents. He's loner. Basically, he's a lonely person. So when he's going in the ship and he's looking at the dolphins going side of the ship, for him they were like the presents add to the touch of life and beauty to the otherwise expensive and sometimes stormy surroundings. So he really likes their surroundings. He really liked them. And he really liked the way they were going alongside the ship. It was like something unusual. He could watch something which is unusual. Yeah, you're right. And the last one, he could see that there were millions of stars. Author gazed at the white, starry sky during the night. The stars for him was like they were flying over Author and looking eyes with him, creating a profound connections with nature. This encounter symbolizes a moment of wonder, leaving a mark on Author's memory. So basically, when you look at the sky, it's obviously when you guys also look at the sky in the night, you feel like the sky is traveling with you when you go in a car or something. So the same thing was happening with him. He was looking at these things and he was wondering that it looked like they were traveling with him. He was traveling with the stars and everything. Imagine how good that could have been given him. So that's for this one. Or you could explain these points yourself and try explaining the points. If you have the book, you could see the answers. The way they have explained is really nice. It's 6 marks, so you have to stick to 6 marks. Now it's about the journey. They say the journey is an unpleasant experience for author. Look at line 31 to 43. Name 4 emotions that you think author feels and explain why you think he feels in this way. So remember that he is a person who doesn't have any family, but he is traveling in a ship. So what are the 4 emotions you could say? So you have to think about the 4 emotions he could say. I would say that, okay, if you guys have joined us now, you could we are doing a comprehension from a book from 11 plus help to success. It's comprehension paper 4 in that, And we are on question 4 also in it. So now the thing is, they are saying that the journey is an unpleasant experience for author. Look at line 31 to 43. Name 4 emotions that you think author feels and explain why you think that. So as I told you before, the 4 emotions what he feel was, the first one you could say sadness. I will explain that further. The second is because he doesn't have any family, will be loneliness. Third one you could say would be anger, and the fourth one could be vulnerability. I need to put the spelling right. So then you have to explain all these 4 points yourself. Why was he feeling sad? Because author experienced a deep sadness that he has never left him since leaving England. He has never left him because it was the first time he was leaving England and he was really sad to do that. And the separation from his home, family, and the surroundings contribute to this overwhelming emotions. The ship represents a physical and emotional departure from everything he knows and loves, leading to a profound loss. So basically, he has never left that place before. So obviously, if you leave your family and you don't have anyone and you're leaving where you used to live, like England or something, you will feel really sad. So in this, you could explain about, yeah, he wanted to stay to England. He wanted to stay in England. That's right. And the second thing you could say that loneliness author said the older boys on the ship taunt and bully him. If you remember that, he felt like he was lonely because the older boys in the ship used to taunt him and bully him, creating an atmosphere of exclusion because he didn't want it to be with them. He just wanted to be separate because the boys in the ship were always bullying him. He didn't like that. Being sent to Coventry, where he is completely ignored and treated as if he does not exist, intensifies his feeling of loneliness and he felt that he's lonely and he is rejected. His emotion state is when Arthur falls ill and experiences the strength of vomit in the cramped cabin, and also because he was lonely, he felt like he wanted to vomit. Yes, Avni, he wanted to stay in England, you're right. And he was sent out of that. He been sent to Coventry was something which he didn't like. And anger I told you because the way he was treated by the older boys, he didn't like the way he was treated. And because of that, he felt really angry. It was like he felt like the kids, the elder bullied him, and he didn't like that at all. And the last one is you could say that he always used to cry in the night and finding London bridges falling exposes villainy. The older boys label him a softie because he felt like vulnerable because the elder boy used to call him by different names like softie due to his making him an easy target for the bullying. They used to bully him the way they used to call him different names. They used to call him like you're a softie, you don't have any emotions. Because if you call a person softie, means that person doesn't have any emotions. You won't call anyone with that name if you have some emotions. So let's move on to number 5 now. Number 4 I've given you. Number 5 now. So now write down the definition of the words of the phrases in the bowl below. Explain why the writer has used this particular phrase. So you have to think about the phrase and see how the phrase has been used in the comprehension, and then you have to say why did the author use that particular phrase. So the phrase is sad cranes bowing. So let's see what the phrase is. Speak up.
Sad cranes bowing, line 4.
So you have to think about line 4, and then you have to explain why did the author use that. So if you know sad, sad is, what does sad normally gives you of, why is,
Underscore, underscore,
oh,
underscore, underscore, underscore,
why as basically sad being used. If you look at that, let me see if I can, yeah, I've got it. So basically sad refers to, it refers to a feeling because it tells you a feeling, or when you show emotions to someone, or showing emotions, sorrow basically, unhappiness, or grief. And cranes basically is used by, it tells you something which is large, something which is really large, like a tall machine, tall machine with long arms, with long arms used for moving heavy objects. And the last one is bowing. It basically means that bending forward. Oh, it should be a bending forward. So the author has used, let's go on the next one. Number B, they're asking you why you think the author has used all this. Basically, the author uses the phrase sad cranes bowing to invoke a sense of farewell as the ship departs from Liverpool. So when the ship leaves from Liverpool, you can see the author, everybody is sad because they are leaving that. The word sad describes the emotion states attributes to the cranes, conveying a feeling of sorrow and loss. So basically, he has referred, because they are leaving their hometown, and obviously when you live your hometown you feel really sad. And why do you feel sad? You feel sad that you don't want to live, uh, you want to stay where you are. And then you could try writing with the emotions and see why they have used it, thunders and things. So I'm just waiting for you guys to give me the explanation. What do you think? Why does the author has used it? Let me just give you the answer for this one. I'm just copying the answer what they have given in this book, and it's really nice answer they have given. I'm just copying that. I'm going to read it to you guys in a sec. Because if you're living, if imagine if you live in London and you are shifted forever somewhere else, not in London anymore, you're shifted to a different place. Oh, that's a really big one. Let me just do it little small. If I can do the writing small. So I'm just trying to read it to you guys.
The writer uses the phrase, sad cranes bowing, to evoke a sense of melancholy and farewell as the ship departs from Liverpool. The word sad describes the emotional state attributed to the cranes, conveying a feeling of sorrow and loss. The cranes themselves are described as bowing, which symbolizes a gesture of respect or acknowledgement. This personification of the cranes adds a touch of sentimentality to the scene, as if the cranes are bidding farewell and expressing their sorrow at the ship's departure and its passengers' departure. The phrase helps to create an atmosphere of sadness and departure, emphasizing the emotional impact of leaving one's homeland.
So this is the basically the answer for this one. I hope you understood. You could also write your own answers and compare that what you guys have written is right or wrong. So let's move on to the next one. Thundered and throb. Basically, you know what thunder means. Thunder means that making a loud, deep, rumbling sound similar to thunder.
The writer uses the phrase, sad cranes bow.
Oh, I need to go up now for the next one. So let's write about. So basically, thunder is basically, you know that when you have thunder and lightning, it makes so much of sound. Thunder, thunder basically means make a loud, deep, and rumbling sound. It's similar to thunder. And the next one, throbbed, basically means it basically means that a beat or pulse, pulsated with a strong rhythmic force.
Thundered, made a loud, deep, and rumbling sound, similar to thunder throbbed, beat or pulsated with a strong and rhythmic force.
You want the writing to be big. I can.
Thundered, made a loud, deep, and rumbling sound, similar to thunder throbbed, beat or pulsated with a strong and rhythmic force. Thundered, made a loud, deep, and
The writing is small because last time, remember when I was doing it big? I'll do it big in a sec because I want to copy the answers, try the answers, and give you guys the answer with this one. So let's do the next one. So basically, now you have to write in your own words. Remember, when you have to write in your own words, you have to be really careful. When you write in your own words, you have to think about what made the sound. Because if you know if you travel by ship, the ship makes us really bad sound. Basically, the sound of the ship they have compared to this one. Black color will be better. Okay, I'll do that. I'll change my color to black and I'll give you the answer for this one and I will make him read the answer for you guys.
Underscore, underscore, underscore,
Let me take the black color. Taken. Let me just make the writing a little small.
The writer uses the phrase thundered and throbbed to describe the sounds and vibrations produced by the ship's engines. The word thundered emphasizes the loud, powerful, and deep nature of the sound, drawing a parallel to the booming sound of thunder during a storm. It conveys the intensity and magnitude of the noise created by the engines, evoking a sense of strength and force. The word throbbed suggests a pulsating or rhythmic quality of the engine's vibrations. It implies a strong, regular beat or pulsation, emphasizing the constant and steady rhythm of the ship's engines. This description helps to create a sensory experience for the reader, evoking the feeling of being on the ship and experiencing the vibrations and sounds firsthand. Overall, the phrase thundered and throbbed adds to the vividness and intensity of the scene, highlighting the powerful and rhythmic nature of the ship's engines as the voyage begins.
So basically, they are comparing.
The writer uses the phrase
I'll make the
The writer
writing big.
uses the phrase.
I'm just offing this one and try to make the writing little big. Because if I make the writing big, you all won't be able to understand. Let me cancel
The
this
writer
one.
uses the phrase. The writer uses the phrase thundered and throbbed. Underscore, underscore, underscore.
You want the writing to be big. Let's make the writing big and I'll just copy it for you guys so you can see if I do the writing big this happens, because you won't be able to see the what we are writing in the previous one. I think so. Red is the one you all can see. Can you see the writing? We have already read it before. So should we move? Basically, they are basically comparing the thunder with the sound of the ship. You remember when the ship when the ship is moving, it makes a very weird sound. So basically, they're comparing the sound to that. So let's move on to the next one now. So let's move on to the next one. The next one is the clutch the key. If you know the clutch, the phrase clutch the key describes how the narrator tightly held grabs the kitty. The word clutch implies a firm grip, suggesting that the narrator held the key tightly, not wanting to let go. So basically, the way the narrator had hold the key so tightly, that phrase tells you with this. So let's write it down. So I'll make it a little bigger. This one for you all. So basically, clutch the key basically means held tightly. So basically, holding something really tightly. Why do you think the narrator he wanted to hold tightly? Why did you think he was holding it tightly? He was basically holding it so tightly because he held it tightly nor wanted to let go. The key is a symbol of connection and hope for the narrator. It represents a physical reminder of home and his promise to return to himself and Kitty one day. By using the phrase clutch the key, the writer emphasizes the emotions attached and the importance of the key holds for the narrator. It conveys a sense of determination. Basically, he was determined that he'll go back to his house. That was the reason he was holding the key so tightly. So in this one, you could say that the narrator was holding it tightly. The narrator was holding the key tightly because he was emotionally attached to the key, and was a physical reminder that he will return to his home one day. Amar was a physical reminder for him that he would return to his home one day. So now we are on the next one. Yes, he wanted to be back with Kitty, you're right. He wanted to be back. I'm looking how many are there. The 8 questions. Yeah. Next one is balls of the ship. What does that phrase say? If you look at line, sometimes if you don't know what the phrase say, you should look at the lines and then see. So basically, the balls of the ship refers to the deep interior areas of the ship where the narrator and the other individuals are accommodated. It suggests that they're located in the lowmost sections of the vessel. So basically, they were not even have a proper place to stay in the ship. They were the phrase balls of the ship refers spelling is wrong, refers to the deep interior areas of the ship where the narrator where the narrators were accommodated and other people accommodated. Basically, they because they were come on to the spelling right. Yeah. So basically, they were in an area of the ship where nobody was allowed to go. Only like poor people and bad people were allowed to go there. Not bad people, poor people who don't have ticket or things like that. So the next thing is you have to write in your own words what does this phrase means. So now you're writing in your own words what does this phrase means. So let's write down. So I just want you all to write it down because nobody's doing anything today. It's only me who's going on speaking. My voice looks like it's completely gone today. Let's put the answer for you guys. See, this happens when I do it. I'll put it a little up and I'll make this person read for us so we can do it fast.
The word bowels is used metaphorically to describe the innermost parts of the ship, highlighting the cramped and confined living conditions experienced by the narrator and his fellow passengers. It conveys a sense of deep within the ship, far from the open air and natural light. Additionally, the word bowels carries a connotation of being in a hidden or less desirable part of the ship, as if tucked away from the more visible and pleasant areas.
So basically, this is what they have explained about this. Now we'll move on to the next one. The next one is rigged of diesel. What does that mean? If you look at rigged means had a strong and unpleasant smell. It refers to the smell, and diesel is a fuel used in engines, and if you know, the smell of diesel is also really bad. It's not such a good smell.
Underscore underscore under.
If you look at the smell of diesel, that's also not a good smell. So basically, both the things refer to a strong smell. Had the strong and unpleasant smell. The smell was really bad. It was really bad smell. Basically, now you have to describe this on in your own words. So let's explain in the own words now. Let's do it. I'll just write down the answer again and then I'll make this person read. So basically, what do you think they have described about the smell here? What thing was really bad smell? So I'm just looking if anybody's writing the answer. Yeah, basically the smell. What smell in the ship they are referring to? Not lately like diesel. Yeah, something not related to diesel, but something which is not a as good smell as you guys think. No? Because something in the ship always used to smell. Everything in the ship smells bad. If you are in the, let me see if I can do it all till here.
The phrase, reek of diesel, describes the strong and unpleasant smell of diesel fuel that permeated the air where the narrator and others were on the ship. The word reeked suggests a strong and pungent smell, indicating that the odor of diesel was overpowering and unpleasant. Diesel fuel has a distinct smell, often described as sharp or acrid, and the use of the word reeked emphasizes the intensity of the smell. By mentioning the smell of diesel, the writer enhances the reader's sensory experience by vividly describing the environment. This detail adds to the atmosphere of the cramped and uncomfortable living conditions in the lower parts of the ship. The smell of diesel contributes to the less than desirable circumstances that the phrase, reek of diesel, describes the strong and unpleasant smell of diesel fuel that permeated the air where the narrator and others were on the ship.
So basically, it's about the smell, the bad smell. And in this one, number 6 is you all have to look at yourself and you have to tell me, look back at the whole passage using your own words in 4 sentences. Explain what type of boy you think the narrator author is and why. So it's basically 8 marks question. So you have to think the type of boy he is. So you could describe everything what we have written here. You could say that he was a sensitive boy. He had uh, also what we read previously, that he's really attached to his house, so you could say that he's too attached to his house. He didn't want to live England, he wanted to come back to his country. You could write about that. And whatever you have written in your answers previously, you could just write everything in this in your own words. And remember, when you're writing something in your own words, you have to stick, you have to make sense. Try thinking that your sentences do make sense, and try looking at your sentences again and again to see that your sentences are making sense or they are not. So I'll leave this one for you guys to write on your own. So now we have number 7. It says that what does the author makes the passage interesting to read and dramatic for the reader. You should write the words and phrases, author's voice in the story, sentences length and sentences time. In this one, you have to write about the word phrases, what type of word phrases they have used. If you look at this one, first you have to write about the word phrases. You have to think about the phrases they have used. You could say that the author employs vivid and descriptive language. They have always used a really descriptive language. So I would say that a descriptive language which is being used here throughout the passage, using the words and phrases like, for example, they use guilt, willing, and crying, great, sad, cringe, bowing, mountains, and they describe the mountains and other things. So you could also give some examples about the phrases they have used in this sentence. So you could write all of them. And second thing you could write is the author's voice. What type of voice? They always say that he had a really sensitive voice, a soft voice, emotion. So you have to describe his voice. What do you think his voice was like? His voice, if you think about it, if you look at the comprehension, it says that he had really emotion voice because he didn't want it to leave. It's lonely, is attachment to the key and feeling of sadness. He was attached to the key. You could write everything about the key and other things. His voice was soft. That's why he was being bullied. You could write about that, the way he was bullied. And then the last thing, they're asking you about the sentences length and type. So you could write about the sentences length. You could write about the sentences. You could say that there were short sentences are used to convey a sense of intensity, and particularly during dramatic moments like the ship's departure. And he got so emotions. And you could also say that long sentences are employed to provide a detailed description, emotions, all these things you could write in this one. Yeah, you could also say that he had a genuine voice. So everything related to what you have read in the comprehension, you have to write here. So you have to think about, because remember how many marks it is, 10 marks. So this question is the one they want you to write a lot in this one. It's basically the summary of the comprehension what you guys have read. And the last one is read rewrite the final passage in your own words. Explain what author means in the final two sentences. So what are these sentences? What do you think he means by this sentence?
Even if things don't seem to be working out quite as you'd like them to, you need to feel they're going to, that all will be well in the end. If you don't believe that, and sometimes in my life I haven't, then there's a deep black hole waiting for you, a black hole I came to know only too well later on.
So basically, you can say in this one, author, he had hope that one day he will come back. He was positive. Basically, he was really positive. He had hope that one day he will come back. And the phrase deep black hole waiting for you is an expression which is used by author to describe the consequences of losing hope. And he didn't lose hope. Basically, he wanted to come back. So let me just write down the answer for this one, the last one. I'll just copy the answer and write it down for you all. So you could also write in your own sentences what do you think. He had hope that one day he will definitely come back home and he won't be lonely anymore. He'll be with his family one day. But that's again, it's just like a hope he had. Let's see if I got it. So this is the last one. What are we doing now? I didn't get it. So basically, in this one, I wanted to copy the answer for this one. They give me. Okay, I'll just, if you guys want me to copy it, I'll copy it again and do it if I can. I will copy it again and write it down for you guys. I'll just read it. So basically, in this one, you have to think that he had little hope that he'll go back one day. And he didn't lose hope. Yeah, I got the answer. I'll just copy it and I'll just make him read for you guys. And then we are done for today.
Underscore underscore under.
I don't know why he keeps saying underscore, underscore all the time.
In the final two sentences, Arthur expresses the importance of maintaining hope and belief, even when circumstances are challenging or not going as planned. He suggests that it is necessary to have a sense of optimism and trust that things will eventually work out and that there will be a positive resolution in the end, by stating, "If you don't believe that, and sometimes in my life I haven't, Arthur."
Okay, so basically, you could write this on your own and you could see that what they have done here, they have basically told you, the writer, the phrases, they told you that he had hope, but he was sad that he left his home and he's going somewhere really far away. Describe the consequence of losing hope and despair. It says a state of emotion darkness. He had emotions. He was sad. He had so many emotions. That's it. So if you guys, that's all with the comprehension. Sorry, the comprehension was really big today. All of you must be hungry now. I will leave it here now and I will leave you guys to go and do whatever you want now. But remember the code for you guys. If you want to buy this book, the code, I'm just putting it again. You could write this code. And if you want to buy this book, you could just go on 11 Plus Help to Success website and use this code. This is a website. You could use the code on this website and then you would get discount. That's all for today, guys. We'll do something really interesting on Monday. We won't do comprehension, we'll do something else. So I hope you all have a nice day, rest of your day, and I'll see you guys back on Monday now. Thank you. Bye.